everyone. Welcome back to our English 105. This is the week of April 6th, and wanted to share another video with you. I'll try to keep it as brief as I can, but do have a good bit of information to go over. But just want to help you get oriented for this week. The big focus is going to be to submit your first draft of your collaborative research projects to provide feedback to another team's draft, which we'll talk about here in a moment. And then also review the new online attendance policy that'll be in effect for the last 4 weeks of our semester for you. And then check in on a few other items. So we're going to kind of look at that. So let's pull up that slide for this week. So again, we're going to review our online attendance policy, and I'll kind of go over that with you in detail in a few minutes, but also want you to download that policy, review it on your own time today. We're going to submit the first draft of the CRP, and that'll be by the end of the day, Wednesday. That goes up to BB Learn. We have a forum for that. You'll comment on another team's draft per the forum instructions by the end of the day, Thursday. I will let you know that essentially team business is going to comment on team education. Team education is going to comment on team business. Then we'll have team green will be commenting, I should say, or giving feedback to team medical. Team medical will do that for team green. And then finally, we have politics and psych who will essentially exchange and provide feedback. And that's all explained on the forum. I want you as a team to review your peers' comments, making sure you address those and my comments. Because when you get to your strategic revision plan, I want you to talk about what feedback you received, what you think needs to happen before you submit your final project for deadline. So keep that in mind. And the deadline on that project is going to be April 14th. So keep that in mind as well as we're moving along. Finally, for this week, would like you to post a blog and a file exchange for your respective teams per instructions. That'll be due by Friday. Last thing I'll just point out, just as a reminder, that anything kind of in that sort of rusty red color is something that we just need one submission per team for those on that plan there. While I have our slides up, I do want to kind of go over what we'll be looking at for our new online attendance policy. So really important to keep in mind that for these last 4 weeks, all activities and engagement you're asked to complete in a week, in addition to whatever points are associated with those activities, are coming together so that basically I'm going to run a report on the class efforts, and then I'm going to assign an attendance value based on the work you completed. So the value goes if you did 75 to 100% completion, you get full attendance. 50 to 75, you'd be missed 1 day, so you get 1 day absent on your attendance. 25 to 50%, you miss 2 days, and 0 to 25% miss 3 days. Please note group-based requirements, so things like the strategic revision plan this week, like obviously getting that draft up, will be included in this. So you want to make sure your group is getting that work done as well. Another thing I want to note is if I ask you to download something, like this week I'm asking you to download and review this particular attendance policy, I have that marked for track changes, and I will be looking at those as well. So making sure you just basically do all of the activities and engagement you're asked to do for the week to help keep these points up. Those absences will be added to regular course absences that you already have. It'll impact the grade accordingly. Remember that your absences, or your attendance, I should say, is worth 100 points of your total grade for the semester. So, and I think this is tricky because you can get double dinged, because you could lose points on an assignment for not completing something, and you could lose attendance points. So it's a little bit different than what we might normally see. So I think that's important. Given the extreme situation of the moment, 10 absences normally would be an auto failure, but in this case, that's not going to be applicable. unless you reach those absences before spring break, which we don't have for this particular class, but I just want to kind of mention that. So hopefully that's not super confusing. Tried to make it as simple as possible. I would just say my best advice to you is to pay attention to everything you're asked to do in our online modules. Follow through on those. If you get stuck on something, if you have access issues, if there's illness, please just email me right away so we can address that. But I think for the most part, our class is actually doing quite well. Been seeing a lot of really good engagement, been seeing people keep up with that. And in cases where it's not as effective, I've been reaching out to folks and hopefully making that connection. Well, sorry I went a little long again, but maybe next time I'll go a little shorter. Again, best wishes for you in our troubling times, and I hope you're able to keep everything together as we try to wrap up this semester.